Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and man, I really don't know what to say. I struggled with going in on live here to begin with. Uh, Heck, I'm stuttering there just a little bit because there are certain situations where you have to do what you do. You know, um, I was talking to somebody about should I go live, should I not go live. I've went live in various situations. I've went live in various scenarios where, or did a talk on something where um, it was a serious subject, but I don't know if I've ever been live with something like this. Um, and when I was talking about it with this guy about going live, period, he's kind of like, well, this is what you have to do. This is what you do. This is what you're good at. This is what people enjoy. This is what captivates people. He said, I listened to that podcast you had one time, and those guys asked you, well, how do you have this gift where people will listen to what you say for hours at a time? Back in, they were more so referencing the Facebook days, when I had a lot bigger audience before they, got me, canceled me out over there a little bit for joking with friends. But he said they weren't just joking. When they said it to me, when they asked me that, I was like, wow, really? I mean, y'all think that? And he's like, yeah, man, it's just you have a way of carrying it, storytelling. And then, I have done some stuff in the storytelling department or speaking department that has done some really good things since then. And meaningful things. That's why I try to make sure that the mouth can't be bought, because meaningful things can sometimes be shut down based on, instead of what's right or wrong in a situation, sometimes it becomes what makes money and what don't. So it seems like some people find that courageous or noble or difficult to do because they can't do it themselves, which is a whole nother situation and an issue. But in this discussion, when he was saying this, he's like, this is what you're supposed to do. You have to talk. He's like, the NFL had their situation. What did ESPN do? Did they shut down? Did ESPN shut down? I mean, we got a guy having a heart attack. It ain't as serious as what we just saw to some people. I mean, that guy didn't wake up for a while in the NFL, obviously. He had a situation, he had a heart attack on the field, and wasn't even awake in the world. Didn't know if he was going to ever wake again. And ESPN starts up. And maybe something I can say or something somebody else can say can make a difference or make sure this doesn't happen again. But I'll tell you what, whatever you're about to see here live, that guy basically convinced me this is what you're supposed to do. You have to speak. And I equated it to, going live after the president, like CNN going live after the president, JFK got shot or something. How do you go live after that? But I guess that's what makes it difficult. That's what makes what I'm doing here hard. Back to speaking truth over money. So, before anyone gets too mad that I'm live, you ain't going to see no photos here. You ain't going to see no videos. I know that the link click or whatever thing you may have clicked had a photo. It was of the wreck prior to anything horrible happening. It was not a picture of a guy's head on the ground, laying outside the vehicle, which is circulating Facebook completely right now. And I'll tell you what, when it first happened, I was ill-informed on some situations, and I even shared it. But once I heard that what I said was wrong, I deleted it. Because he wasn't okay initially. There was no, luckily we've learned now that he has feeling, at least. And things of those lines. So, there's good news out there. But even knowing that, I still ain't going to show the photo. I still ain't going to show the video. I've been sent a couple videos. I mean, I could watch it. I think if you're here You already know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to tell you what I'm talking about. I ain't got to show you a picture or a video or anything for you to know what I'm talking about. Everybody saw it. We all watched it. We all went to social medias to go see more. Hell, I didn't even have to go to social media to see more. I got texts and messages. I got drone footage that shows it. I ain't got to go to find it. So we all know what we're seeing. We all seen that one dude who slow-moed it. You know, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna post it. I talked to a couple other march to their own drummer type of media personnel that could have done the same damn thing. We ain't sure as hell ain't gonna slow it down and make sure you could see every little bit. So, once again, just an insane situation. I'd like to talk about it in multiple ways, but I do think that it's only right to open up in saying that this is difficult for me to go live about. I do want some people to call in and talk about how they feel about it. Prayers are being sent. You know, Ashton and them, I got to meet them and their family at Tulsa Shootout a few years ago when I was doing some filming with some people who were pitted around them, and it was all fun. Got to meet them, hang out with them for a week. You know, so it ain't just like this is some guy I've never spent any time around. It's not like I just met him at the bar and I knew him when I was drunk. You know, I actually spent time around the guy. So this is a very interesting situation that happened, and I wanna talk about it. What could happen? What did happen? I heard a lot of theories right now. I want to hear some theories of what y'all think have happened. We ain't got no official deal. Hell, one guy said he was down there in the infield, and I heard his belt was still latched. Don't know if that's a fact. Don't know if that's true. That's what somebody's saying to me. Well, how the hell? Okay, so if that's the scenario, how did it happen? I don't even want to think. You know, I don't even want to think. If that's the scenario, what do you do? I do think. I hope that that's not the scenario. I don't believe that guy in particular. I think it may have been something else. I've heard arm restraints. That's the more rational things. The arm restraints, kind of grabbing the latch, and all that. That sounds more plausible. A glove. I heard somebody comment glove may have done something. You know, so in the scenario, if shit's still latched, I mean, maybe, you know, I tell people all the time, I had to learn it not the hard way necessarily, but I had to see and know somebody who went through it. I think sometimes people don't strap down hard enough in these cars. You know, I know some California bull ring racers, they latch themselves down. You know, some big track racers, they latch themselves down because they've took some pretty big hits. And even if you get tight, you wait till you hit something hard. You ain't tight, you know. So you almost want to cut your circulation off when you get in the car, pretty much, you know. And then obviously the shoulder Hans kind of gives a gap on the show. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could have happened. I'm going to turn the comments first. I kind of opened up with what I had to say, and then motherfuckers still hate me for going live. I'm the last motherfucker trying to get a view right now on this shit. I just understand that I got a responsibility to the sport to be somebody that somebody can watch, listen to, rationalize. I think that's why a lot of people talk about it, rationalize and discuss what could or couldn't have happened and have some intrigue instead of sitting there on their phone watching this guy over and over flip on his head. So they can just watch me talk about it and everybody else can talk about it. We can go forward and hopefully go forward in the right way. So I'm going to turn to some comments down here on what y'all think is going on. Hopefully half of them ain't a bunch of shit talkers. But we'll see here. And we do have calling that is going to take place. If you want to call in, we'll just open up the line right now. Why not? I'm here to talk to people and hear their thoughts. If you want to call in, hold on. There we go. Little dim right now, so go ahead and share it around as well if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Let's get some people in here. I know there was a few people that were at the Expo Center that actually witnessed some things that I talked to them and they said they want to, you know, try to talk about some topics that happened that they saw when they were in person that they didn't necessarily like or agree with. So uh, that could be something that's talked about. I wasn't there in person. I was watching on Flow Racing, like a lot of us were. I think a lot of people were watching this on Flow Racing when it happened. Obviously, I think that there are more than, let's say, 25,000 people, and that's on the big end apparently this year. At the Expo Center, I think there's more than 25,000 people watching this via streaming. So I think most people here watch what we're talking about on Flow. So the number is on the screen if you would like to call in. If not, I will read comments. I'm just sharing the posts around a little bit as well, so people could tune in if they wish to watch, or to call in, or to give an opinion, or whatever they want to do. I'm just sharing this around myself. I'll go ahead and read one or two questions and see maybe we can get on here and actually somebody said up here, do you think they should put like a 1,200 pound limit at Chili Bowl? I don't understand what that means. I'm just out here hauling gas at night in northern Pennsylvania. I'm just seeing what happened. I guess I could say what happened. I guess that would be okay. Basically in the A main, Ashton Torgerson, which is a weird way to say their name. I mean, the last name's a little bit difficult, but he was performing well at the Chili Bowl. And then, actually, going off of turn 2, a little contact was made with KTJ. Ashton was on the outside line. KTJ was somewhat in the middle. And then contact was made. He got into the outside wall. Clipped it with his front, which was a really pretty big jolt when you hit something solid like that. And then went over, kind of slammed real hard from one angle, and then looked like he just started coming loose, and he came out onto the racetrack down the back straightaway. So, anyway, that's the situation that did occur. So it is kind of crazy. So what do people think? Calling in 424-356-0879 is the number to call in if you want to talk about it. Let's see if we got some people showing up down here. The belts in the car I crew on has a 3/8 ratchet drive in it to tighten belts. Yes, that's true. I mean, it was the A main. A lot of people were watching it as compared to if it was a heat race or something. Yeah, it was the A main. I mean, a lot of eyes were on this situation. So that's also a part of this whole ordeal, is it wasn't just like it was a regular old race. It's the Chili Bowl. It wasn't just like it was a regular old race at the Chili Bowl. It was the A main on a qualifying night, which is even fellow drivers, big name drivers are watching. Where, you had Chris Windham reporting from the infield. He'll be driving. Logan Seavey was announcing tonight. He'll be driving come A main Saturday. So a lot of racers, high profile racers, were also watching this. So it was a crazy instance for it to happen, because we all know that it was going to change the night a little bit. I saw a few people being critical that it was even raced. Some people were saying how they think that the race should have ended. They think they could have raced it tomorrow afternoon. Well, I mean, that was an opinion I saw out there. There's guys posting bootleg clips of it on from Flow on YouTube, so people can find the wreck on there. I don't have the chance to watch it. So yeah, there's a description of what happened. Somewhat of a description of what happened. But anyways, I mean, at the same time, I guess we're not going to get any callers, and that's fine. It is late at night. We might as well just ratchet it down. Somebody said, I can't believe Ashton is even with us. He was inches away from not being here. I mean, that's true. When he went actually, when he started coming out of the car and it went to go over on its end, on the lid, that is, it did look like we did get lucky there, how the bars missed his head. Because that has happened. I know some people haven't really seen this ever, but in motorsports history, there have been guys come out cars. We've all seen the old 90s flipper where the guy's flipping with his whole half body out the car and his arms and legs are being flipped onto. And that was horrific. And some people have seen, I think somebody said Syracuse, this happened one time in the big blocks in the mile. So it's happened before. Just a lot of younger people who watch it on. Oh, we got us a phone caller here. A lot of people who are younger. We may have to call him back here. Let's see here. A lot of people who are younger just don't remember
Forwarded
the
to
olden
an automated
days.
voice messaging system.
Looks like that number did not come through. We missed a call from that number. He did not answer. What a joke.
Forwarded to an automated voice.
Forwarded to automatic voice. I'm old enough to remember the lap belt and kidney belt days. Yeah, that was a while back, I'm for sure. Yeah, Rich Vogler, that's another one. That was a while back. Hello.
Hello.
Turn your speaker off or something.
I turned it down.
Okay, so what's going on? We have a live report here from the Chili Bowl. I believe you were there. This is Spike once again calling in.
Yes, sir. Top row, turn 4. So I saw it happen. Obviously I saw the wreck kind of happening as he was coming out of 2, rolled, and then all of a sudden it looked like someone like sliding head first into home base kind of thing. That's the way it kind of appeared, because you could see his fire suit and his body, obviously, and he went sliding, and then was just motionless, right? So I caught it because I visually saw it. Other people were like, I said the driver was tossed out of the car, and a lot of other people are like, "Wait, I think that's part of the car." And I'm like, "No, that's the dude. Like, that's the driver." Nobody really knew who it was at first, so.
Oh, you mean like the driver, like who the actual driver even was, or like who?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because from the vantage point, I mean, they're all smaller cars, so you don't really see all big numbers and sponsorships on them as it happens. So.
Right.
Anywho, so obviously there's the ramp, right? And all of a sudden, I mean, it was like every crew from the pits ran to the ramp. I mean, there had to been 300 people on the ramp. It was just a mob up on the ramp, and the officials are obviously around the wreck and creating somewhat of a circle, right? Kind of a encasement around him. And then obviously some people were trying to come down to the situation, and then the officials were like, get back and get out of the way. And my timing is obviously off, but I would approximately guesstimate that he was laying there with people surrounding him, which some of them are firemen, which could also be EMTs. Majority were the Lucas Oil shirt-wearing officials. Until an ambulance came out of turn 1, and that was about 15 minutes, I'd say.
Really?
Before the ambulance. Yeah, it was, and then the ambulance, kind of trolls in and parked in the infield. And then at that point, it was just kind of odd because, now this ambulance is in the infield, the lights are on. And then one of the crewmen pulls out the green board, where you put a guy on the board so you can put him on a stretcher. They picked him up, put him on the board, neck restraints as well, for neck protection. And then picked up the stretcher. And then the Chili Bowl officials, which is odd, but they held up a tarp as they were putting them into the ambulance, which now, mind you, the announcer had announced that he was responsive and talking to the crew.
Okay.
Or to the safety crew. So it's nobody at the building at that point was like, this is fatal. So the fact that they pulled up the tarp and like held it up when they put him in the ambulance was a little weird reactionary, I guess. And then they made an announcement and said, if anybody's taken any pictures of videos on your phone, delete them immediately. And I think that was a bit odd.
Now, is that is that like legal for them to say that? I don't know. Like, do they own the rights to the venue or like the video and all that?
No, because they can't say. I mean, there's people videoing the whole time, you know.
Right.
I mean, if you go to a concert and they say you can't video or cell phone use is prohibited, it's nothing like that. They were just trying to. At that point, I mean, I feel that was almost like they were in a little bit of a freak out mode. Like, hey, is this some kind of liable thing that happened on our watch? You know, delete all footage or your ass is grass kind of thing.
Right.
And which, I mean, like everyone around is just like showing, all of a sudden everyone's getting stuff on their phone from people at home and people on Facebook groups. And I mean, within 15 minutes of it happening, everyone's getting stuff on their phone from people that are at home. So it's like, well, guys, it doesn't matter what happened at the track. The stuff on TV, on Flow, is more visually, I guess, where you're able to identify what happened more than we can, So.
Right. And so, from your description, how did they react to it all happening?
The fans?
Just the fans, the people there working, assisting them. What?
Well, the fans, the opinion of the fans was, well, some of the guys that I sit by have gone for 37 years and they've never seen a guy fly out of a car before. Number two, at that point, some of the footage or the pictures from online were hitting guys' phones and they're seeing, that still footage where he's, head first into the ground. I mean, obviously that looks freaky as can be. And now at this point, it's been 15, 20 minutes and he's laying in the dirt with all these people surrounding him. And we don't know if I think about 5 minutes in, the announcer said that he's responsive and talking.
Somebody's saying just because the ambulance took that long doesn't mean EMTs weren't on the scene.
I never said they weren't.
So what were they doing there?
Well, they were the mob of officials and you got to realize that everyone's wearing a fire suit of sorts if you're safety. So obviously you're a fireman / safety / whatever. So I don't know if these people are full blown medics or are they just enough to determine if you've got a concussion or can wrap a bandage. Like, I don't know what their credentials are. I don't know what tracks require of a safety crew. I mean, I know they know how to use a fire extinguisher, but so I can't verify if all those people were just safety firemen or if they were EMT medics. My God, they could have been doctors for all I know. I don't know.
Now, did they at all... I guess it was a situation where everybody kind of jumped back and said, don't touch him or something, or...
Yeah, well, and I would say that was very wise because, anytime you're involving possible spinal and neck, the worst thing that you could do is move them, pick them up, anything like that until you actually have qualified people that can restrain properly. So
then that was the smart
thing.
I
would say that was correct. Yeah, that was correct on their part. The ambulance did take time to get in. I don't know if it was, were they on scene? Were they not there? I don't know. It did take, it was not quick. It was not 5 minutes or less that they were there. I mean, it was a good 15, 20 minutes, because that's why a lot of the crowd was like, what the heck is going on here? And then all of a sudden they said, well, driver's meeting in turn 2. And we're thinking, well, what the hell? I mean,
right.
And then after they loaded him into the ambulance sat in the infield for 20, 30 minutes. Now, I don't know if that was something where they were waiting, maybe to get his family, right? Like, so that they could ride with. I mean, then maybe that's what it was, or maybe making sure the family was in their vehicle so that they could follow. I don't know.
Now, did it come across at any point like, something was not going to be right, or just what was the feeling there being in the stands? Was obviously you're getting just as much updates as I believe we are on Flow. Like, it had to be sort of confusing there for a minute.
Well, within the first 5 minutes, the announcer said he's responsive and talking to the crew, but we pretty much were like, well, he's probably neck injury, back injury, spinal. This is, you got 20, 30 crew or 30 safety crew people surrounding, and you've got 300 or so crew members on a ramp standing in major concern. Drivers are getting out of their cars now.
Right.
They're standing there concerned, kind of like, dear God, what's up,
Right. Did you get any?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, but I mean, that first 5 minutes when they said that he's alert and responsive, it's like, okay, well, that's good, but is this some type of paralysis or neck injury? That was the main consensus, because mind you, at this point, it's been now, say, 10, 15 minutes, and now all these still photos are flying around the internet and popping up on people's phones.
Well, I was about to say, people online, y'all in person probably didn't get a replay, I'm assuming, on the big screen. So people in the crowd, if you didn't see it the first time as it happened, maybe you got to see somebody laying there and all that, but you didn't get to actually see the wreck. Unless you pulled your phone out and got on the social medias where everything was happening,
Right. And they weren't going to show a replay till obviously they knew all things were cleared. But even after they, that was the weird part, was, so they put him in the ambulance, and then the ambulance is just sitting there for 20 minutes, and we're like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's an urgency, right? I mean, if I call an ambulance and they show up, they're not going to just put me in and sit in my driveway for a half hour.
Right.
They're hauling me away.
Right.
So, I mean, that where it's just sitting in the infield, then it was like, oh, this is weird.
Now, did you see any reactions from possible teammates, team members? Did you see anything outside of that? How was the vibe? Did you go in the pits after this all went down, after the race? I mean, obviously we're in racing where, the acceptance of being hurt on the racetrack or in the race car is like, it's a given. You're making a deal with the devil. That's why they call it Speed Demon. They don't call it Speed Angel. They call it Speed Demon. So was there any kind of reaction from people, or were they not really talking about it much, or were they trying to ignore it? What was the vibe after the race?
Mm,
I saw the
pretty
Brent
normal.
Cruz or whatever was already. He's going to start donating T-shirt sales, right?
Well, right. I mean, that's the comedy of it all. Is sadly is now all of a sudden everyone's a humanitarian by saying, "Well, buy my T-shirt, and I'm going to give the money to the kid." Are you kidding me? I mean, that's the top of your list right now is to say that. I mean, that to me, that's like that's self-promotion.
I thought it was a good gesture, but so you're seeing it from the perspective of possibly like you just said promotion there at the end. So you're trying to say that your angle on that would be, I'm going to jump on this to promote my name on this situation.
Well, it didn't make sense because why not say, I'm going to start a GoFundMe, or I'm going to put a coffee can out by my merch tent, or I'm going to create a special line of T-shirts to support him. It's buy my T-shirt with my name on it, and I'm going to possibly give the money to the kid. Like, that's weird.
Well, Brent Cruz, I don't think he's, necessarily a poor man. He's relatively young. I'm assuming they got some kind of backing to get him in the race cars he's in. So I don't know how that angle would. Why would he need to make shirt money?
All right, like why? That's what I'm saying is, if I said, you know what, I feel really bad about this situation, I'm gonna give $1,000 to a fund to help him. Instead, it's, well, no, buy my T-shirts, buy my merchandise, and then I'll give money. What? Like, you're self-promoting yourself. That's all you're doing.
It was kind of odd when they actually did the post race. Rico was getting really emotional. I mean, he was talking about some stuff, and after they got off the topic of the situation with Ashton, immediately after that, or like they just like right in the middle of Rico talking about stuff, cut to Brent Cruz to talk about that. So that kind of caught me off guard, I guess you'd say, because I didn't really see, what someone else had to say is just as important as whatever Brent Cruz had to say. But I mean, obviously it looked like they were going for the angle of, he wants to do something nice. We need to get this word out there right now to try to raise money, I guess, for Ashton.
Well, it just wasn't thought out, and in the end, I mean, you got to think twice about anything that you do in a split-second moment. That, yes, it has good intention, but it makes you look like a prick.
Well, that's possibly true. I mean, I'm obviously there's the angle you're coming at it where it looks like he's just you're saying tomorrow they'll have stickers made and they'll be selling them for $5 is what you're saying. That's kind of the situation. And if he really wanted to be generous, to just donate money or set up a some kind of way to raise funds, or start donating, I'm 200 towards the family or something, instead of, hey, if you give me your money, I'll give you a shirt and I'll give your money to him.
Right, but people aren't getting the big picture of this. I'm reading your comments on my screen here. Yeah, I get it. You're getting a free shirt, or you're getting a shirt so you can wear this guy that you don't give two shits about, Cruz. And so he's getting his name out there, and you're feeling good about it because you're giving it to the young man that got hurt. How about this? Who the hell is Cruz? what the hell does he care? And number two, why doesn't he just give his money and be quiet about it?
Well, I think they're saying Brent was trying to say, hey, we really want you to give money to them. If you will give them money, I'll give you a shirt.
Okay, well, if that's the angle he was doing, then that's different.
But I mean, isn't that the angle? In the nice, polite, I'm loving or trying to help angle. The other perspective would be, hey, let's raise money for this guy. If you raise money for him, I'll give you a shirt. Because that's basically what he's doing, right?
Well, what he's saying is buy my shirt.
Technically,
he's saying buy my shirt.
Well, no. Technically, he's saying if you donate, though, if you give your money to me or come to me as a syndicated figure to raise a bunch of money for him, I'll give you a shirt to give me 20. That's what he's saying, because that's what's happening. He's giving people a shirt to donating to Ashton. That's the thing, right?
Well, right, and I get the intention behind it. I'm just saying, like, it's like, dude, it just happened. Like, that's the first thing you can think of is buy my shirt, and then I'll give money to the kid. What? Like, dude, chill out. Like, nobody knows who the hell you are. You're some NASCAR guy. Like, chill out.
Well, I mean, I see your angle for sure. I guess what you're halfway saying, I do see, is it's like when tragedy happens in today's society, it does seem like some people are trying to be like, let's wait, let's pray, let's see what happens, and some people are like, I need to start something now. Almost in a Black Lives Matter way. Oh, somebody got let's do something. That's what you're saying.
Well, right. And look at all your commenters. They're all jerking off because they can get a shirt out of this and act like they gave money to the kid.
You can't be making jokes right now. That was sincerely funny.
Well, I mean, look at all these idiots. It's not bad because I get a shirt and then I feel good because I gave money to the kid. Come on, you idiot.
What do you mean, come on? That's the nice way of looking at it. You're looking at it from the cutthroat businessman. The nice way of looking at it is that way, right?
Well, just let the dust settle. My God, find out if the kid's going to walk again.
Well, that's not...
And the son of a bitch is like, buy my bootleg shirt that you don't even know who I am?
That's not right, man. That's funny, but that's not right.
Well, I'm just saying, dear God, like, there's guys that have been paralyzed that have died. Can you imagine if someone's like, oh, the first thing here, buy my shirt?
You're making it sound like a Black Lives Matter deal.
He is. This Brent Cruz BLM.
No.
It's BCM. Brent Cruz matters. BCM.
Oh, shut the hell up. Don't do that. Are you going to come out with that shirt tomorrow? Brent Cruz matters. BCM.
Well, obviously he does because I'm the only one giving money and I'm sacrificing because you bought my shirt.
Oh, somebody just said, who the hell is Brent Cruz? Who in the hell is Spike? He said all shirt sales, meaning
Brent
some
Cruz,
were already sold.
Brent Cruz matters. Spike don't matter because I didn't sacrifice my T-shirts.
He said all. Wait, this guy has a point. He said all shirt sales, meaning some were already sell. I guess he's meaning to say sold. So,
dude, nobody bought a damn Brent Cruz shirt the whole damn weekend except for his mom or his girlfriend.
Dude, you can't be making. Oh, but it's probably true. Maybe his friends.
Who the hell is Brent Cruz?
Don't say that. That's mean.
No, really. It'd be one thing if a guy like Rico or T-Mez or someone that actually sells shirts is like,
true.
Dude. But Brent Cruz is like, what, is he going to show up to the hospital and say, hey, buddy, here's $30?
I mean, if Rico said that, So what you're saying in that aspect, you're saying that if Rico did it, people want Rico shirts. And there's value to giving that shirt away. What you're saying is this Cruz shirt, or this Cruz guy's shirt, his shirts aren't really, I mean, you're saying nobody really wants them. There's not much value in his shirt. So it ain't, the giving the shirt away doesn't come across as generous, is what you're saying.
It benefits Brent Cruz because it's getting his shirt on people's bodies.
Man. Well, I think if there's any Brent Cruz fans out there, they do not like you, Spike.
Well, apparently all your little boyfriends in your chat room don't like him or love him because they're all pissed off because, go on BrentCruz.com and get your little Brent Cruz shirt. You can run around and act like you're a humanitarian. BCM.
Yeah. I'm trying to scave the comment section.
This shit is stupid. Like, let the dust settle. Find out if the kid's going to be okay before they jump on this promotional shit. Like, everyone's got to post their little post, and I got to blackout Monday and all that. No. Just let the dust settle and shut the hell up.
Damn,
and find out if the kid's going to be okay before you start giving away fucking T-shirts.
that sounds, how you say it sounds really bad.
It is really bad.
How you explain it, I
just
didn't see it that way. But how you say it sounds really bad. You know.
Like, think about it.
Hold on. Somebody just said, Street Row, this would be up your alley, I guess. He said, it is true. I've never heard of the wannabe influencer Cruz. Wow, this guy is right there with you. And if you can't take a tongue lashing at the track, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So this guy says it's a wannabe influencer.
Well, I don't even know if this kid is an influencer. I've never heard of him. He's never influenced me other than the fact that he's trying to hawk his shirts to get his name out there in the course of a tragedy and an event that he don't belong at.
You just said he's trying to hawk his shirts. Half the people you're talking to don't even know what hawk means.
Well, that's because they can't spell. They only use one silver word.
What does hawk mean?
I mean, I'm not going into any descriptions of stuff because these chat room guys.
No.
Look, they're all ready to get on their knees for Brent Cruz so they can get a free T-shirt.
Well, the one guy. Hey, here's what I do. I'm used to negative comments like what you're getting right now. I noticed the one good one. You see, I noticed, that Camp Run Amok more than anybody, where he says he's right. Chaz.
I appreciate that.
Not everybody's calling you idiot. Yeah, there's a lot of people here calling you an idiot, but hey, I say it all the time. I'd rather have 10 lions than 1,000 sheep on my side. So if you believe in what you're saying, what?
Right.
I'm just saying, if you believe in what you're saying, only worry about the lions roaring down there, not the sheep bad. That's how I've always dealt with adversity.
I mean, I'm just saying, who is Brent Cruz? Let's just cover that for a second here. In 5 seconds, who is he?
They keep saying he does road racing.
Okay, so he's not even a dirt guy.
Hold on, I'm going to Brent Cruz Racing right now. Obviously his strategy here to get famous on his move is working. We're looking him up and talking about him for 20 minutes. He has 3,800 followers on Instagram. He has 1.9K followers on Twitter.
Well, apparently your chat room, they all follow him.
Looks like just road racer. Brent Cruz becomes youngest Trans Am driver to win at Montepool Pole Award. So I guess he's doing all right in this Trans Am stuff.
He's trans?
I didn't say that. Trans Am, all right? Now, I don't even know who drives in Trans Am, but when I go to their drivers, it's an interesting lineup. Some of the guys, they don't even... Hold on, I may have to bring this up on this. I could actually bring this up. Yeah, it's just this is the Trans Am by Pirelli Tire website, and these are the drivers. Look at this guy.
Adam Andretti.
Yeah,
he's there too.
Yes.
Adam Andretti, the great value Andretti.
It's not Mario. It's like the Dollar General Mario Andretti.
Yeah, right. He's the great value Andretti.
I'm just joking. I'm not trying to be mean, but they got nice cars at least. I mean, the cars ain't bad looking, are they? Is this like the Steve Kinzer guy right here? I'm just saying, who is this Trans Am stuff? Wait. Are these Trans Ams? Oh, wait, hold on.
Look at that guy.
Which one? The gray hair?
The guy that's like 100.
The touch of gray guy?
Attaway.
I call old people like that racers. I call them touch of gray.
Yeah, attaboy.
Oh, my. This is the lineup.
Bring up Brent Cruz, the BLM.
He's right here. Oh, Trackhouse is on his suit. Trackhouse is on his suit.
Brent Cruz matters.
Look
at him.
If you make that shirt, that's so fucked. So that is him. And with that Trackhouse logo on there, I'd be fearful of the mafia coming after you if you talk too bad about him.
Wasn't Trackhouse the Pitbull?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have Juarez after you soon.
Well, exactly. So he's cartel.
I mean, pretty much.
See, so once again, there's just money laundering.
The word of the young guns.
Word.
He's winning, I think. Wait, what's the points? We got some points here? Wait. We can't get no championship points up. But anyways, that's Brent Cruz. Is he good enough to be liked by you or no?
Well, apparently your chat room loves him.
I mean, I didn't say that. You are. Let's see here. It's his golden opportunity to get rid of that box of 500 shirts he's been stuck with all summer. Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's like the 2020.
That is so wrong. I was a little upset when they cut Rico off to go and do that. So I was like, it's the winner. Why are you, I mean, it's not like he wasn't giving a sentimental speech or was speaking badly. He was being real. But I don't think the media likes Rico. I don't think anyone in me. I think some people like him, but once he said no to NASCAR, I feel like people, just don't. I mean, I think the fans like him, but I don't think the media personnel's like Rico too much.
Well, the fact of the matter is, the Flow Dirt people right away run to this scab Trans Am, road course. Nobody gives two shits or even tunes in racing guy. And act like it's such a humanitarian effort.
Right.
He ain't in this world of dirt, so who is he? All he's doing is trying to get his name out there.
Somebody said he's been in dirt for years, micros. I think maybe was he the dude who won Millbridge? He might have won the Millbridge Track Championship in micros.
Well, I'm just saying the fact that nobody knows who he is I'm just saying this was a publicity stunt.
So you just don't agree with how he did it?
He's got every right to do whatever he wants, and your chat room can buy all of his damn shirts and get on their knees for him. But I'm just saying, it's just bad timing. Jesus Christ, nobody knew what the hell if the kid was going to be paralyzed or something. And the first thing, they interrupt the winner's interview to say, oh, and by the way, running by a Brent Cruz shirt. Come on.
Well, but it wasn't really a buy. Like I said, I think he was looking at it like giving them away, pretty much. But I think you're making a point. I'm not saying you ain't making a point. You're smart in the business aspect of what you're saying. I just think that, I don't know if that was his intention completely. It could have been. It could have been his intentions to just...
Well, I'll just say it was childish. It was childish because he looks like he's about 15, so...
Well, and then I guess, does he get a pass at that point?
Well, yeah, because he's from the whole influencer world where everything, he probably put up the Ukraine flag too and put up the blackface when the Black Lives and all that shit. So, he's just jumping on all the bandwagons.
So you're thinking he could be more so like kind of more so like a Gen Z? Is that the better term?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like he has won in a micro at Millbridge. I can't get Millbridge points or something up, but it looks like he's done something in micros at Midget in micros at Millbridge. Sorry. So it's not like he's
okay,
but he is apparently a full-time Trans Am racer. So that's his bread and butter.
And he's a vegetarian, and he gives his shirts away.
Okay, so what's these people in the chat saying bad about you now? Guess this guy doesn't watch micro racing.
Obviously, their wives are typing for
him. Somebody just said, Chaz, could you find a bigger uneducated knob to put on this stream? Oh.
Who said that?
It's a guy named Paul Root.
Hey, Paul Root, your girlfriend likes my big uneducated knob.
Oh, my God. This is not supposed to be a funny topic. We're supposed to be talking serious here. So what did you...
Well, you got me going on that because you brought that up before, and I said, oh, that's kind of cheap heat right there to get the whole buy my shirt thing.
Well,
so you were poking the bear. You're poking the bear.
Well, yeah. I mean, completely. I think that's extremely the case. I think that's extremely the case for that to be the scenario.
But I think that your chat room loves it because they're getting a T-shirt out of it. So.
I don't know if they're getting a T-shirt out of it, technically. I don't think a lot of people were at the track, personally.
I was at the track, and it was business as usual after all that.
So, what?
I mean, it really seemed like no different than any other night.
So, was you actually hearing anything else outside of just people talking about T-shirt sales, I guess, afterwards? Was there anything interesting to hear or listen to, or... Did you get any driver reactions? Did you talk to anybody?
Well, they were just talking about how his family posted that he had feeling in his hands and feet and that he passed the initial test and was getting a CAT scan. So that was good news. And then next was they were discussing the possibilities of what went wrong.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well, the car is there with a tarp over it, so I think they're actually going to have to take a look at it. So I think we'll be able to find out some interesting things. Some have said that it could have unlatched just right. Could have been that the arm restraints hook and pull it loose.
Okay.
And then I didn't hear anybody say this at the track, but that he actually just didn't tighten it and slid out. He didn't tighten it enough and just slid right out. But so I was talking to some manufacturers there, and I said, so what's the deal? I said, if this is negligent on your product,
that's a good question.
Are you liable? And there is, every time you buy their product, it is a contract stating that you are mounting it correctly, that you are doing everything correctly and our hands are washed.
So basically they don't have any responsibility then?
Right, because let's just say even if the belt's unlatched, because obviously it's lap, it meets in the lap, right? And then it comes over the shoulders, etc. Let's just say that middle piece unlatched. They would actually say, well, did they mount it correctly on the frame?
Well,
it was the chassis strong. Was it the chassis' fault? They're going to blame everything else, and therefore their hands are washed.
Well, I have a pretty reliable source who was on the scene that said they overheard somebody saying that it was still latched. The belts were latched in the car.
Yeah, and I don't know. Nobody mentioned that live when I was there talking.
No, nobody mentioned that live. And the person who told me that, I will not say who told me that because they said you didn't hear it from me, and I respect the person and the person and the person who told me. Obviously, I have a lot of higher ups in the scenario, but luckily, this guy isn't necessarily a higher up. He's a normal guy, but this normal guy heard that the belts were still latched in the car. And if that's the point, this person also pointed out how, I was trying to say earlier, I know when I raced race cars, I was told early, they got it tight, and they said, it was actually when I was hot lapping a sprint car, and they got it tight, and I said, yeah, it's pretty tight, and they said, well, it needs to be tighter. I was like, so how tight do you need me to be in this thing? I was hot lapping sprint car in California, and I think this is the main reason for it, is out there, it's really rough and tumbly, but they said, you want to get it down to where you almost can't feel your legs. And guys in sprint cars and guys I've heard this in the half miles, that's why they got those ratchets, they want you to be in that car to where you can't almost breathe. You hear people, sprint car racers in particular, say, under cautions, they look to loosen, or under, not necessarily under cautions, but under reds or something like that, they're looking to loosen their belt just a little bit because it's hard to breathe in those cars being strapped down as hard as they get them. That's how much it compresses your body. And that's what they want. And I've also heard that drivers and midgets kind of like them a little loose. Some of these midget guys will loosen them up a little bit. I know Carson Elledge had a hard wreck in Arizona, and that was something that I heard with her. Her head slammed into the dash when she started flipping. I was the one that filmed the wreck, actually, from the infield. One of my biggest YouTube videos prior to doing the talks over here. But that was because, or somebody was saying, the midget guys like to be a little looser in the car. And this guy was pointing out how the Hans device, it goes over your shoulders and it has a little gap. And some of the newer, nicer, expensive ones that are the hard-shouldered ones, not the hybrids that lock around and you got a strap around your body, but the composite ones, the belt sliders are thinner and they're not, they're not really locked in. So if you run a little loose on your shoulder area and you got Hans with a gap on it from your actual body and you run a little loose, it is plausible. I mean, if he's small enough that you take a hard slam like you're used to in a half mile in a sprint car, and that one slam he hit was really hard, and it gives that gap enough for those belts to just split second, especially if you hit one way and hit another real fast, enough to slam the belt up and then slam to sling them off. I mean, that's plausible. I could see that.
Right. Well, I will say, just based on some of the comments that are coming through, they're saying, well, the guy is small.
Mm-hmm.
In all these comments here, I'm just kind of noticing, I'm at the track and I'm getting insight from people that are in the sport, that have witnessed it, are telling me different scenarios. These are manufacturers. These are race car drivers. These are crew chiefs. And armchair quarterbacks have their opinion, right? I get it. That's cute. But what I'm saying is they're all small. Like, have you all never been to the race? Like, it's not, I mean, for God's sake, you've got a guy who is a midget. Like, and there's girls that are 90 pounds. Like, you got to understand they're all small. The fact of the matter is that's not an excuse that he's small. He was too small. No, something got fucked. He didn't tighten it. Whatever it may be, something malfunctioned. But I agree with you. Based on, he's been racing since he's 5, does a lot of micros, etc. And now he's doing midgets. It could be that he's gotten so used to racing places that he can kind of keep it loose.
Right.
And then, yeah, I mean, you just get used to that, right? It's a muscle memory. You're like, well, cinch it tight, I'm good to go. Well, it ain't tight enough.
Right. Right. Yeah, and tight belts and rock screens. I still don't know how some sprint car drivers don't or use rock screens. But at the same time, that's a crazy scenario that can happen. Now, what's the scenario? I heard arm restraints maybe caught or I don't know how people are saying the arm restraints, but I guess they're probably saying the arm restraints kind of got loose because they go down. You have those arm restraints, and some people have backed off from using them because you have slack, so you can work the wheel, and you have slack so you can reach up and grab a tear off. You need enough length in that strap that goes from the holster down there to your arm so you can move up enough to at least pull tear offs. So the arm restraint theory, thinking about it clearly, is going to be a situation where he goes to flipping that strap of that arm restraint, somehow gets into that latch, and it catches it when he slams really hard one way or another, and it pops that latch up. And then once that latch pops, I mean, it's designed to release fast because of fires. You know, that latch being one way or being the other. One way, it's going to keep you in the car if you slam into a wall at 100 miles an hour. The other way is designed when the car's on fire, you could just get out. It's when it's unlatched, it's you're released. You know, so is that pretty much what could have happened if it was an arm restraint situation?
Yeah, that was what I said before. There was a bunch of drivers I talked to, and they said they've quit using arm restraints because it'll actually pull the latch out. It'll release it. So that's a fact. Like, many of them have retired from using those.
Yeah.
But, can you, obviously there's photo and video of the young man flying out. I mean, would the arm restraints been on his arm yet?
Right. Well, at that point,
that's flinging around.
What? Right. I guess you could go into the video and look and see if arm restraints are on his suit. You know, if he wore them or not. That would be something to see. Obviously, they got that horrible slow-mo up there. I'm not going to show it, but I'll watch it. Looking at it right now to see if there is arm restraints that come flinging out or around or something in those scenarios.
Yeah.
We're really lucky, though, when he went over the top like that that the cage didn't land on his head.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said initially. He kind of did a slide in, a face slide in the home base kind of way is how he came out of the car and landed.
Well, on that super slow-mo video, I could definitely confirm that the belts were not latched. Either the belts were not latched or he has one long black arm strap. So the belts are slamming onto the track on the video. When in this guy's slow-mo, I paused it right where he comes out the car. And you could definitely see the belts of the car sling out and slap the ground. So the belts did come undone.
Well, that's good insight.
100% belts come undone. Now, what made that belt come undone, that's a whole nother story. And it happened. The belt's flung off right there all the way. Now, what's funny in watching this video is he's already coming out the car slightly at the first hit. The first hit's kind of what slung him out. Hold on. When did he actually start getting loose? The slow-mo video is really good. I don't, obviously don't want to show it, but almost feel like I have to analyze. So when he hits the first time, yeah, he's already moving. Once that car took impact at all, when he hit the wall initially, like, the belts were already, like, coming off. Like, they may not have came all the way off, but the belts were already coming off once he hit the wall. And he really didn't hit the wall too hard. I mean, he did slam a little bit, but people have wrecked like that, and it's not hard. The harder one was when he came down and kind of slammed on his head. And somebody did make a point. If Jake Swanson don't come in here and slide into him and hit the car back the other way, man, I feel like I need to put this on the screen almost. Yeah, if Jake Swanson doesn't slide in there and hit him the other way when his head was coming out, he may have actually landed on his head. Like, Jake Swanson kind of spun the chassis when he was coming down, like, right at the moment that his head was about to smash into the ground, like seconds before. Jake Swanson comes in there and hits the car, and the way that Jake Swanson hits the car kind of spins the chassis around to the ground to hit it with the chassis of the vehicle instead of his head on the ground. But that's when he completely flings out of the car. At that point, it's almost like the belts, like I said, I think the belt started coming undone initially when he hit the wall. I don't know if maybe it almost feels like he didn't have them on to get, like the arms may have already undone the belt or something, because he didn't have he was slinging around in there right at the initial flip.
Well, I'm just impressed that he didn't get run over, honestly, because, I mean, that was impressive that everyone halted so quickly, because I was like, holy crap, he's on the track. And then, I mean, people drove around, obviously, but.
So I guess I need to drop my balls and show the video. Is that what I need to do, Spike?
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's about I found 10 bootleg uploads that all have at least 3,000 views each already tonight. So I don't think that you dissecting this is a problem.
Okay.
I mean, the only way that we'll probably get shut down is because because I spoke against Brent Cruz.
I can't believe you just said that. So this is the douchebag who put this video out there, Kyle Clegg. He has put this video out here. We are putting the replay up on the screen, I guess. So this is the probably the most gruesome video. This guy slow-mos it down. But this is actually what happened at the facility tonight. So this is the slow-mo version. Obviously, or honestly, the fast version, you can't see much, really. I mean, you see it come out, but you can't really see anything that's happening. Here you can actually, with this slow motion, see some of the stuff that's actually happened. Now, it cuts off there.
Oh, he's out right there.
Yeah. Now, hold on. So when I was saying belts came out, watch this. The belts definitely came off. Because watch this black slap to the ground. I don't know if anybody can see my mouse.
Yeah.
If you see the line right there, that is the belts coming all the way out. right there with him.
Dang.
Slap. You could see the belts. They came out with them. So the belts did come undone. There is no belt was latched situation. Now look at this. This is what I was talking about with Jake Swanson. Possibly saving his life. And it's hard to say, saving life when life is how saved, still horrible. But if you look at that right there, like his head was going to the ground right here, wide open on a flip. And when Jake Swanson hit that car like that, if you notice, if you pay attention to where they put the names of the cars across the top of the front of the cage, it spins that part. I'm about to play. It spins that part to the dirt before his head could get there, just on the sheer hit. It spins it to hit that top of the bar instead of him. So extremely lucky. I mean, this is inches we're talking about here, where that he slung that car around enough to where you could pretty much see it there, that the top of the cage hits the ground first. And then he comes out.
Yeah.
It like laid him on the ground, literally.
I still think he hit his head, though, because
he probably still hit his head, but it wasn't as bad, as just a straight-up slammer to the ground that was about to happen. Like, right at this point, this is about to be really bad right there, buddy. That's about to be way worse than what happened if that car goes around.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be way worse. But luckily, all that happened, that force, that kind of centrifugal force, kind of took that slam away, I think. But what I want some people to see is, like, watch this. You think, when did the belts come undone? You would think it would be a hit that kind of jolted his arms with arm straps to catch it. You would think that if the arm restraints did it. But watch him when he hits this initial hit here. Obviously, if you pay attention to his helmet, it stays a little bit, but right here, he's already moving around the car. Like, he's moving around at that point in the vehicle. After the one hit to the wall. And he's halfway moving pretty good right here when he gets this hit, because that really wasn't much of a move there, and he moved a lot. Right there, I mean, oh my, yeah, right there, it's already done. It might have been this nose shot that might have did it. Yeah, you could tell the helmet is not supposed to be there. That helmet, that is definitely first impact. Who knows if that impact caused it in particular, but that head-on hit right there definitely lets you notice that the belt is out. One of them is out. And of course, at this point, two of them's out and then all the way out. So, definitely belts came off. But I'm almost wondering, was the belts already off?
Yeah, that's
what would
I'm just trying to see when he starts lifting up out of the seat in there.
Well, he starts lifting. Well, right here, he's undone. And he's already coming out before he hits the ground again.
Mm-hmm.
So, he hit the ground one time there. This is when he definitely lost the belts. And before he hits the ground again, you'll see his helmet start to come out the cage. Right there, it's already out a little bit before he hits the ground. Then it hits the ground again. He's moving a lot now. And he's completely getting bounced out the car. So,
I think at one point there, when he hit his head on the cage, and it probably KO'd him, which allowed him to ragdoll out.
You think so?
Which would be a good thing, because then you're just going to come out loose, and you're not gonna. It's gonna be less injury.
Right. Yeah, that's just insane.
But you're right, Swanson hitting him, that prevented him, landing on his head, basically. Like right there is the spot where you can kind of see where he probably KO'd against the top of the cage there.
You think when after Swanson hit him?
I mean, it just seems like when he's starting to inch up there, right, where he's starting to kind of rise up out of his seat, that he's kind of bobbleheading back and forth a little bit. So, boom, like at some point he could have just nailed that. See there, you see when he comes out, he's just like ragdoll.
In a way, but I don't know. How much shit do you think you got to take? Well, I would say that if you're going to get knocked out, and if these belts came undone at that hit right there, I guess you're right. He could have been knocked out at that point right there where I just stopped the video, because that little white dot you see next to that red bar is his head.
Yeah, you can see it rise up, and then see when he comes out, you can see his forearms are arching down, so he's kind of just limp.
Yeah,
his hands are rolled down too. So,
and actually, I think he's passed out, or that's why it gets so black after he slams his nose. It's because his head is just drooped in the car. I think he got knocked out right there. Bam.
Yeah, right there.
Right there, you can see it. You can't even see the top white of his helmet because his head is laid down because he's knocked out.
He hit the left side, and that KO'd him, I think.
See, his head doesn't even come back up until right there. You see where his head comes back up into the frame. See, it was down. It was down in his lap or at the steering wheel, right there, because you see the head rises up. So he was knocked out at least for a second. I don't know if he rose up back to consciousness or not, but just took a really hard hit. When you get hit in the face really hard, you kind of have that moment where, oh, that hurt, Who knows if he was completely knocked out, but right there his head's still in his lap. And then you see it come up out his lap right there before hitting the ground again. So he definitely got knocked out. If he was, like you're saying he's completely unconscious at this point. All the way. So, plausible.
Which was good. That's a good thing. I mean, because watch when he comes out completely, he's basically ragdoll, and his wrists and arms are just arching forward, which means that he's knocked out on his feet, basically.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Like right there, you can kind of see he's just.
Yeah.
And yours is probably ahead of what I see, but.
Well, yeah, mine's a little ahead. I was just looking at the comments for a second to see if some of the comments were worth putting on the screen. Definitely has a broken jaw, 100%. He may not have a broken jaw per se. The helmets are really protective. Let's see if we got any more comments. We got, let's see the damn video. I didn't know you was going to pay to see the video. Anyways.
Well, Camp is a fan of me. I appreciate him.
We should have you on here every week to piss people off.
Well, I know this is above most of your fans' heads because all they want to call in and talk about is, what's your thoughts on Larson and High Limit? And will the Outlaws still race this year?
Yeah, that's true.
They're all sitting there with the Brent Cruz shirt on.
Apparently, if he had Spike's head, he would have never ejected.
I couldn't fit in that car. I wouldn't be able to get out of the thing.
Right. The way he hit the top of the roll bar, it hit under his chin near the strap. Well, that's possible. I definitely think that hit's what hit him, but he was not strapped in when that hit happened. That's why it went forward on him. That's why he slammed his head into the roll bar or front row bars of the cage, is because he wasn't strapped into the car. So something caught that and unlatched that. I just wonder if maybe it happened while he was racing. If he had, if he was racing and you move your arms a lot there, and if that strap dips down a little bit, or if you some drivers will do a tear off on the left side of their helmet with their right hand, and they'll go across their body and pull a tear off, and if that slung that latch over there and he goes back to the to the right side of the wheel and it pulls it open, that first hit wouldn't necessarily slam them. That first hit would basically get those belts undone. That one little pull would jolt the belts loose, and then that next slam would send them through, which is still crazy to think about.
And all the setup, as far as how you secure yourself is up to you. There's nobody that's inspecting. There's not like a tech inspector. Correct?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying, let's just say that he had his belts loose, for example. If he didn't, there's nobody walk into your car and seeing if you got your belts tight. They're tight enough, and they're, yeah, okay, good enough, right?
Right. And at the same time, nobody really even is doing, like, checks on that.
Right. Much less that Chili Bowl where there's, 400 cars,
Right.
And ironically, I mean, this is kind of interesting. You probably know this, and I'm sure your disciples in the chat don't know this, but there's a few guys at the Chili Bowl that are just sponsors of drivers, and there's an extra car, and they're like, well, hey, how much more do I have to give you to drive a car?
Really?
And there are paid. I mean, I'm not naming none, but there's a couple pay-to-play guys there that have never drove. Maybe they drove a four-banger, little Hornet division once or twice, but yeah. So now think of that. Now you've got that element in there. Interesting.
Well, why would that be interesting, though?
Well, what I'm just saying is safety is such a issue, right? But then you've got guys that have no experience; they're just paying to play. I mean, they don't know what tight is? Do they even know how to tighten their belt? Who knows?
Well, I mean, usually the crew chief is responsible for latching you down and pulling you down, strapping you down, as well. So
right.
That's supposed to be like a crew chief deal.
Well, I get it. But, I mean, when you got other guys that actually are, professionals, and then you got the money guy that wants to play, you're like, oh, good enough.
Well, somebody's saying it doesn't look like a latch problem, possibly belts. How would that happen? What if do you think a belt could have tore?
Well, there was talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to go on? If it's a belt, that's
what some of them were saying. It's only 2 years that they'll even use some of these belts or less.
Right. I mean, he was in a good car, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
So why would they have crappy belts?
Some were saying it could have broke off the it actually came off the chassis.
Yeah, some people are blaming the tech, the safety tech, and there really isn't any. We were talking about Robert Bell's
that's
race
what
car.
I was saying.
Jeez, man. Me and Gravel were talking about it looks scary. Who would get in it?
Well, that's what I was saying. There is no such thing as tech. So who's doing the checks and balances? There isn't any. So it's based on hopefully either your crew chief is doing it right or that you're following the procedure in the car and not, adjusting and loosening stuff.
Yeah,
which is also why those manufacturers told me that they have no responsibility because there's so many other variables that could go wrong.
What are some variables?
Where they attached it is the chassis the issue. See, some will actually attach it up to that, behind behind the seat, obviously there's the top bar, and then some will actually actually bring it down lower. There's another area lower than that you can attach it.
But if we're seeing the shoulder straps come undone, it would have had to come from the latch, right?
Right, but I'm saying there's all these different variables. So even if the latch came undone, they're going to say, well, where did you attach it behind you, or things like that. There's going to be all these variables that will then void them of responsibility. Does that make sense? It's almost like it's saying, well, my roof is leaking, and they're saying, well, how did you build your foundation?
Right.
I mean, that's basically what they told me, is they'll go through all the checks and balances to make sure that they're not responsible.
Right. We got a bit of a request for a replay on the video some more. Somebody says they want to point something out. So, not real sure what they want to point out, but I mean, we got to figure out now in a weird way, is it the belts coming off the car? Because that's what some people are suggesting, I guess. It does look like more comes out the top of the cage, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. So there's only a few options. The latch went, or the belt secured to the car in one way or another broke. Is that what you're saying? What about you, Spike? Are you still there?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bo Tabs guy. What's his opinion? Or what's he pointing out?
He said was not a belt, it's his arm. Look at it. He's saying that black thing going to the ground is his arm, not the belts. I don't think that's his arm.
Well, his arm's as long as his body then.
To me, that's too short to be a person's arms, and it's not thick enough.
Oh, it's flat.
Yeah, that's not an arm. That's a belt.
Look at that.
That's a shoulder
Dude, if
strap.
that's his arm, his arm was fucking like a noodle.
Yeah, I don't believe that's his arms. I'm sorry.
His arm is 5 foot long right there. That's belt.
His arms look more so like you said, Spike. He is just passed out, and his arms are just resting at the side of his body. Because his arms,
unless his arm got crushed.
That's one thing that didn't come out when he was going over was his arms. It was just his upper body. Shoulders.
Right.
You could see his arms. He has a green suit on that goes down his arms. So all the green is his arms right there. His arms are going straight up to his knees. That's about how long your arms are.
You see that moment right there?
Which one? I'm a little ahead of you.
That is where I can hear it, actually. The Brent Cruz T-shirt sales went through the roof right there, baby.
Oh, my God. Why would you say such a thing as we are watching that? Oh, that is not funny. Why would you put such a funny, horrible image in my mind? You're a demon, Spike. You're a demon on Earth. You're a demon on Earth.
And your whole chat room was buying them right then.
Oh, my God. That is so fucked.
You sick
why
bastard.
Would you make such a horrible joke that is funny?
Well, it's true.
Why would you make such a horrible joke that is funny? That is disgusting.
Because it's true. Why would anyone... if I'm watching that happen, I'm sitting there going, you know what? I could capitalize on this. Come on.
Oh, my God. Why would you
But I know your chat room's going to cry now. Oh, they're all crying now. Oh, well, go cry to Brent Cruz and tell him what a prick he is.
Oh, my God.
Go watch Trans Am. I'm just saying that dirt fans, I'm just going to make this public right now.
All right, let's hear it. What is it?
Dirt fans previous to Larson and Bauman on Video Game Mania and getting banished from the Matrix, and then he had to go play dirt. before then, dirt fans used to be real men and were cool.
What changed it?
Larson. He's infected it with all these woke idiots.
Why? How did he infect them with woke idiots?
Because, I mean, have you seen NASCAR fans?
Right, but I mean, if you want to say,
I mean, my God, they got Rainbow NASCAR Month.
Well, why are you blaming Kyle Larson when that's really Jeff Gordon that started that? You gonna blame the tree or you gonna blame the seed? The seed is Jeff Gordon. The tree is Kyle Larson. Does that make sense?
I'm just saying that all these guys in your chat room are in it because they all are Larson fans. And they came over to dirt because they feel like they can be part of something small.
Sense of community.
And now they're coming in and they're offended by everything. See, Camp Runamuck gets it. Camp's a long-time race fan.
Hey, cut him some slack. He would have never got rid of those 500 shirts. Jeez.
Right. Bo Tabs, though, he's woke. He came from, the Larson love.
Oh, there's the guilt trip by Mike, though, for laughing. I've never seen a grown man get so upset over a 14-year-old kid's bad wording. You're a horrible person, Spike.
Who's 14?
I guess he's talking about Brent Cruz since he's underage. You're getting off and so upset over a kid offering to give up some shirts to raise some money.
I didn't know the kid was 14.
Or 16 or whatever. He's a kid.
Hey, Scott Foley, put up your money and call in.
Oh, you want to see the comment? We'll show it. He's an idiot.
I'm just saying, I don't care if the kid's 14 or 40. I'm just saying his handlers, the cartel, the track house, they should, they should get a little better grip on the kid instead of jumping on a bandwagon. Like I said, that kid Cruz is he had his BLM flag up and he's Ukraine flag, and now he's got his little support Torgerson.
Oh, wow. Torgerson. Wow.
Torgerson.
Why do I feel like that? Your support
it's
Ferguson.
2 in the morning. I can't talk. I'm just saying.
I just feel. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't know this kid was 14. This dude's a tool. Spike's gonna have to take his leotard off to think. Ooh, he's aiming low.
Leotard?
Now, I guess you wear a leotard.
Damn right I do, Bo. Your wife loves it.
Oh, God. Is that your best comeback?
Mike Concho, he's complaining for 30 minutes. We just did 30 minutes dissecting the crash that's now allowing Brent Cruz to pay for his high school.
That's, oh, my God. How is he making $1? He's not making $1.
Well, let's hope. Tell Brent Cruz you want to see the expense report.
All right, hold on just a second. We may get pissed off. Huh. Apparently NASCAR reported the incident and used that picture of the dude's head on the ground. But then the image was taken down. Not sure who took it for credit. So.
Wait, on what? What are you talking about?
Some guy messaged me and just said that. I thought it was going to be some breaking news. But apparently they just took like that one image and came off the NASCAR report Facebook page. Whatever that is. NASCAR's Facebook reported on it or whatever. And basically they're saying, what do you feel about the response of everybody saying, don't show it? Don't show the pictures, don't show this, don't show anything. And they're hating and saying you need to take it down. How do you feel about that?
Well, what are you saying? So NASCAR report put up the image?
Yeah.
Well, sure. It's free reign. I mean, it's an accident that happened.
Okay.
Like, who are these, it's just like, I don't get it. Like, why is everyone now, like, they cannot come to terms with things happening?
Well, hold on. I'm going to give Bo credit here. I'm going to put this on the screen. This is the image. And this may be Bo, just he's not the same as his YouTube name. But he said, look, it's his arm, not a strap. And that is a arm, I think. Are you seeing that image, Spike?
Yeah, but when you were running the video, the thing was, like, flung out like 5 feet.
Yeah, but don't you agree that looks like his suit with the shades of green there?
Yeah, but I just think that that's just a still frame that the straps are probably slung up now next to him and you just can't see them.
Or it's just like blurred because they're flying. It's not really
right.
like whatever's flying there isn't that wide. It's just going so fast. It's like a blurry image. Kind of like look at the tire.
Right,
look at the right front tire.
Right.
Well, what I'm saying, look at the right front or left front tire in this image. It looks like it's a circle. We all know that the tire is not a circle of black. Front tires aren't that wide. It's just because they're moving so fast it makes a blurry look. So that could still be straps just with a blurry look because they're moving. So obviously they're slapping or just slapped to the ground at that point. But yeah, it looked like belts that slapped the ground to me, just how they moved.
Well, yeah, in the video, I mean, the thing is, like I said, unless his arms were noodles, I mean, they were flinging out 5 foot, it looked like.
Yeah. The fast image or the fast video is just pretty crazy to see because it's you don't get to see as much as you see on the. Or wait, this may be the slow version as well. Yeah, this is the slow version once again. There is a fast version out there somewhere. And there is also a drone one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can find the drone one.
The drone was on flow.
Like, showed or what? I gotta pull up the
because
name. I don't want nobody to see it.
If you bring up the drone footage, I'm sure the flow logo is in it.
We may be able to see a little bit more here.
Yeah, you could see something by his legs, too, that was dangling.
Yeah, but you can't really see what flung out. It's just extremely blurry. I will say, in a weird way, that we have seen...
there's stuff flinging around.
Yeah, I mean, after he's come out of the car, but I'm just saying the moment he's coming out trying to see what broke or what didn't, this footage, you can't tell nothing.
Once he hits the ground, you can see there's a strap that's flying.
Yeah, I bet people sitting in turn 3 had a pretty good look. Or, well, maybe
I was straight ahead. So if you kind of see where the yellow is, if you go over about midway grandstand.
Well, they have that the crazier view had to be up there in that VIP section where I've been up there a few times. It's up top on the back straightaway.
See, and I think their view might have been obstructed because of their banners.
No, where you stand up there, you stand up there up top where that red sign is. There's people standing right there. You can kind of see them. That's like a little VIP
But I'm just
section.
saying right there, he's in front of the banners.
Well, yeah, but that's two sections there. The other section's on the other side of that pole. You could almost see straight down up there. So they were like right here. They could see him coming out the car right there, and they're right 5 feet from him, almost 10 feet maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it develop out of turn 2, and then I pretty much in my mind was like someone's gonna wreck here, and then obviously he did, and then right there, I watched that happen right there where he just kind of baseball slides out of the car.
Oh,
right there.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, this drone footage is way better in full speed than trying to go frame for frame.
Yeah, right there. No, I guess they don't have it where everyone runs up, but.
Oh, you got somewhat of a scenario where you can see people see it. Oh my God! Like, look at the reaction from these people down here. I mean, when it first happens, they're just thinking a regular flip, and then they look over and they see a guy on the damn ground, you know? Like, that one guy's just walking, and all of a sudden he's running, people are flinging arms.
Well, that's why I think that once he saw him laying there, he was like, I'm going to have to run out so that nobody runs him over.
Imagine being some of these guys that are driving by. I can't really make out who they are, but they're driving by and they see a guy on the ground. Like, there's 2 cars there that drive down.
Yeah. Watch those 3 that cut low. If they didn't cut low enough, they ran him over. See?
Yeah, those
we're
3
talking
saved his life, yeah.
half a car length.
Well, I mean,
half a car width.
Luckily they're trained to, turn away from a wrecking car.
Right. But now imagine if he would have flung or slid further. He would have flew right into that first car. Phew, right there.
Right. Yeah, you're saying if he would have came out a different angle, like across the track.
Yeah, there would have been no way to miss him.
Yeah, a lot of things went surprisingly right in this horrible situation for him to be where he's at right now, and not run over and mangled and landed on his head in a hard way if Swanson doesn't hit him. It would have been a lot worse if those things don't happen,
Right.
And in the scenario, you know what? I guarantee if that car would have barrel rolled like it was, it might have ejected him straight up in the air. That's the scary part. Because he's already coming up. Remember, he's up out of the cage after he's knocked out or whatever. And he's coming to do another barrel roll. And obviously hitting the ground barrel rolled first sent him up out of the cage. And if he would have barrel rolled again, he might have been slung directly up out of the car into the air. Because that Swanson hit's what spun the car around and kind of laid him on the ground, But if he barrel rolls again, he's not only going to smash his head into the ground, but he's going to possibly fling up out of the car into the air when he comes back up the next go-round. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
It would have been like a slingshot, just slung it around and go, That's crazy.
Well, and I think that as much as everyone wants to cry and be woke and weep and not act like anything ever happens in life that's bad, sometimes you got to look at stuff like this for the fact that now certain situations create the opportunity to create safety so that you can now determine, well, what went wrong so that we can determine how to rectify a situation in the future.
Is that going to be enclosed compartments?
Well, all you can really hope is that...
All I'm saying is imagine if you had the safety bars across the top, the real hardcore ones that cover your whole top.
He broke his neck.
Hey, he would have broke his neck, but he wouldn't have flung out on the ground. Now you got to ask yourself which is worse, you know. I'm sure if you put roll cages on supercross bikes, the drivers would be like, no, I want to fling out this thing when it goes to rolling. You know? So, I mean,
well, and that's
in this same scenario, you would prefer in this same scenario where belts are coming loose, are you preferring a car with no halo protection so that you come out the car? Or do you want a car that's going to have halo protection and you may break your neck and smash yourself around a little bit, but you're not flinging out the car? Which is better in that scenario? Both suck. The belts come off. Both are horrible scenarios. But which one would you prefer? A situation where you could be flung out in the air, possibly? Or a situation where you stay in the car and you get smashed up?
Well, everyone I talked to, so this is the root of it all. Everyone I talked to tonight, you know, who's been going to racing for, 50 years, and 37 of them at Chili Bowl has never seen someone flung out of their car in their life. Not just at Chili Bowl, but anywhere. So that's where the transparency, I know that's a big word, but for the driver, he's just got to say, hey, either A, I did everything perfect and something went wrong, or B, no, I did it incorrectly. I did this, that wrong, and that's why I got flung. And then obviously that can be the learning thing that can be done because, yeah, maybe it is a new safety issue that needs to be addressed.
Well, what would the safety issue be outside of belts? Back to the halo. Do you think if the argument could be made the halo would have been better here to keep the driver in the car?
No, I don't think that. I'm just saying what went wrong. Was it something wrong with the belts? Was it something wrong that it broke off of something? What is it? Or was
here's
it
the issue. Here's the issue. If it has to do with the installment of the belts, somebody installed the belts. And a lot of people, I guarantee you, know who that somebody is. And that somebody more than likely don't want to say he's the reason it happened. Nobody's going to want to take the blame here on this. Nobody at all. No one. So how are we going to get the answer? Who's going to admit that?
Well, the car's sitting there. The car's at the Chili Bowl with a tarp over it right now. So.
Well, I mean, but who's going to admit that they're the reason this has happened? That's the reason the belt manufacturers, they're all scared to death. All these people are scared to death. Who's going to want to take the blame on this?
Well, if it was an install issue, that'd be something where they could probably narrow it down.
Yeah, to a car owner who maybe they rented the car from. Or when they were installing the seat. Most of the time, people come there with their seat and their belts when they rent cars. And they install them themselves that week at the track. So everybody knows who installed the belts and stuff on this car. Everyone involved knows. The driver knows.
Right.
More than likely the family knows who installed the belts on this car. And I'm sure that person does not want to say it was them. Unless they can somehow legitimately tie it back to him. And then are they going to make that public? Even at that point? Say they're all, they obviously would feel sympathetic for the guy. He didn't mean to install them incorrectly. He didn't mean to cause this to happen. So then we won't ever get a name. We won't ever get anything like that. Is it a situation where the public just needs to hear the belts were installed incorrectly? We're not going to say who did it. But then there's a lot of people in the pitting area who know who runs that car or whatever and installs them. If it was an install issue and the installation was performed by somebody who rents this car out every year, they'll never get to rent it again. Nobody will buy it. They'll be known as the guy who caused this to happen. So I just don't know if we're ever going to get an answer on who did what and what actually happened. That's another problem with everybody wanting to stay hush-hush about it.
Well, maybe that's why they're wanting nobody to put no videos or imagery out.
Right. Somebody said 100% belt failure.
I mean, that's why I think a lot of it's just people are soft as shit right now, and they want to just drug themselves up, and so they don't have to feel and not think about anything. But it's like, no, look at it and figure it out. What the hell happened?
Right.
Otherwise, they're either gonna say, well, guess what? This is outlawed. This sport is outlawed, meaning that midgets are too intense, or B, we're gonna put little bubbles over them or some garbage.
Well, but I mean, if it's a belt issue, if this was to happen at, say, Port Royal, a motherfucker would be flying through the sky.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why someone's got to figure it out.
I would hate to see what happens there.
Oh, by the way, that video that you just replayed about 2,000 times, watch at the end where the light blue teal car almost smucks the official running out on the track. That was a close call too.
Yeah, that was close. Wow.
It's the last second of the video.
Well, I bet you he's got his fucking mind. The guy driving the car, like that guy in that blue car, that's the one I would be more concerned about mentally. I mean, he saw it all. If we're talking about somebody who was in a race car driving, everybody else is out of the gas. Is anybody else is talking about the first one who noticed it on the racetrack was probably that guy in that teal car. He had a front row seat to this situation.
Yep, and then he sees a guy run out in front of him.
Well, I think he's late to turning to miss that guy because he's turning back to look at what he just fucking saw. He's trying to see what the hell, he's looking, trying to see as much, and he looks back and the guy's running at his car. I think he wasn't even looking ahead of him. I think he was like halfway shocked, halfway looking at what he just saw because he just got the front row seat to that.
Right. No, and I'm not blaming the driver or the crew guy. I'm just saying, or the official. I'm just saying that was like bedlam, man. Like people were just running around, man, like wild. Like it was just frantic.
Yeah. That's pretty insane right there.
I mean, just a frantic reaction.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the comments on how they said, or some people were saying it should have been like the NFL and they canceled the race and run it tomorrow?
No, my God.
What do you mean, no?
Well, because they obviously had more insight on the condition of the young man than we did.
Do you think if this was a situation where he could be, if somebody was to die at the track, they would cancel the race? At this event in particular?
I would think that would probably be the case because, I mean, obviously, in recent years they've done that in IndyCar and such. Now, obviously, if it's death right at the track, sure, then they call it. But if it's something where they take him to a hospital and they'll know, and then they find out hours later, that's a different story. But
right.
And what's funny is, you look at the old school drivers of old, and
yeah, here's that blue car. We got the replay on the screen so people could see this blue car almost miss this guy.
Yeah, it's the last second.
But yeah, he got a front row seat. If you see this video, he is front row to view this. I mean, he's the first, in my opinion. I don't think that gray car could really see what might have happened unless he was really looking. I'm more so thinking he was looking to miss, the car flipping. That gray car, they're like, oh, wreck. They're just reacting. But that guy in that blue car, he was slowed down enough to look and see what was going on, and he saw that front row. So I think he was just completely looking, and you see what Spike's talking about, where that official's running towards the wreck, and the blue car right here kind of twitches and moves last second. He barely, he's going straight at him, and I just think that's because he had a front row seat, and he was like, what in the hell he's looking back? Like, well, he's staring at it right there as he's driving by, you know, and then he looks back and the official's there.
That was like Wile E. Coyote right there, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He did like the little run in place thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? You probably don't watch cartoons ever.
Wile E. Coyote, yes, the Acme Brick. Or
yeah, and the Roadrunner, they like run in place, you know.
Right. Yes, the Roadrunner, the good old Roadrunner. So, well, I guess that's it. I guess we could get off here. We trashed everybody, showed the video, showed pictures, all of it.
But no, the whole Bo Tabs likes me now because I said the race should have went on. You heartless prick!
Why you calling him heartless?
They should cancel the Chili Bowl for the rest of eternity.
Somebody said or Bo said, "Come on, guys, only 7 likes. Let's get subscribing, folks." Oh no, just send $100 before we get off here. No, make our
yeah. No, they all spent their money on cruise shirts, man.
I mean, they did, man. I ain't gonna open up something and say I'm sending money to I ain't gonna profit on loss. I just or even draw attention to me based on loss. You know, that's why I was halfway worried about even coming on here. I don't want to be that guy.
But no, they shouldn't. Like I said, they spent a half hour or more on the situation. They assessed the severity of it. It wasn't, my God, they assessed it. They determined the young man was alert, and he's got feeling in his hands and fingers and such, and didn't, and he's CAT scanned, and initial tests and scans are 100%. So, based on that, obviously at the track there was coherence and there was enough to say, okay, we can keep it going.
Well, that's an interesting comment that I just saw by Jeff By Jr., that is. Said, go look at his Twitter. Earlier in the day, he had a silver Kirky seat in the car. Later in the day, before the main, he's got a black Butler built. Did they change the seat during the day? If that happened, now you're making me want to go to his Twitter.
Dude, some of your guys are great, man. They're like detectives.
I mean, they got me, so I mean, I'm halfway a detective. The sheriff.
I like them guys. I like guys like that because they're real fans, not these larcenites that just bow down.
Oh God, you have to go there all the time. Oh.
Just think. Last night, David Gravel thought that Emmett Hahn had sent the Oklahoma Sheriff's Department on horses to come arrest him.
Oh, and he does have feelings in his. I just went to his Twitter. We'll put that up on the screen. And they're talking about how he has feelings in his hands and feet. Let's go down here and see. I'm trying to. Maybe there's pictures of him in a silver seat. Let's see here.
I think if you
oh
go to,
wow! Whoa! Look, it's true. Oh no! That's teammate Ayrton Jennington, which was his crew or teammate here. That is a silver Kirky in his teammate's car, Ayrton Jennington. And then this is a picture of him, and that is a black. Looks like a black Butler built. But that's his car. So maybe you thought you might have saw something, but you didn't. I've heard that before.
Look at that view there.
I'm trying.
So see that where he's in the car?
Wednesday night prelim.
Hold on. What? Where?
Scroll down where he was in the car in the cockpit.
Okay. What about it?
It was that one. So he's coming loose, and his shoulders have to be beyond that by the helmet.
Yeah,
the
the shoulder rest kind of area where it goes around your shoulder a little.
Right. So I mean, he had to really jockey around and bounce around to get out of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Although there's a lot of force in these cars that people just can't fathom. There's a lot of force in these hits, man.
Oh no, I'm just saying though. Like, I mean, you would have got I mean, not you, but I'm saying anyone would have got banged to shit just bouncing off all the equipment in there.
Oh, I know. It had to be pretty.
I mean, he probably bruised to no end.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope. Not saying hope, but hope that bruising is his biggest worry.
Right.
Yeah, and then they got an interview with him here earlier in the day, and that's a Butler built in the car. So, yeah, and here's a picture of his race car, his sprint car that he races. He is sponsored by Rowdy Energy, and Rowdy Energy won the race, or well, kind of a rowdy athlete. I don't know if I'm pretty sure Rico still is one of those. But, yeah, you could see in his sprint car, he usually runs a Butler-built seat, and it looks very similar to the one that's in that midget. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's sponsored by Rowdy, which is through Kyle Busch. And
yeah, so we'll see what Kyle Busch does through all this.
What's that sponsor on the front of his wing there? That TR? Is that Carlson?
No, I think that's Torgensen Racing.
Or oh yeah, okay. That wasn't. He's not racing for. He's raced for his family. Okay, I get it.
That's interesting, and I thought about that too. Like, you had to go through a lot of force to get around the wheel. How the fuck did he get around the wheel? I mean, when you strap in, like, you got the wheel almost to your gut. Like, your legs are underneath the wheel, and that wheel ain't moving.
Well, right. I mean, you're just banging your chest, your guts, your dick, everything against it.
No, but how does his legs get past the wheel?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're just getting ripped out of the thing. Like, his legs are probably bruised to shit.
Well, I know, but still, it's just like, how do you get ejected out of one of those cars without the wheel coming off? Period. Like, how do you get around that? And that quick. He only rolled it 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's dude, it had to hurt like hell. I mean, obviously he was KO'd at some point, but geez, like, he's probably black and blue and purple everywhere.
Right. There's so much force in a crash, a driver, even a Hans, bounce their head off the front steering wheel. That's how much force we're talking about. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt if he's got black eyes.
Right. I bet that.
Because that happened to that one kid at Knoxville during their weekly race. He hit so hard he had black eyes a week later.
Right. Well, I guess that's about all we could talk about. It's 2:30 a.m. Even the people out partying have already went home. So I guess that's all we can really talk about. We said about everything we could about the situation. You went after Brent Cruz. You're his number one enemy. We made sure to get your picture up here so you can be attacked at the Chili Bowl tomorrow. So good luck.
Are you coming?
As of now, right now, no. I'd be kicked out of the building. I couldn't do this video if I was down there.
But they're probably going to check all of our phones and make sure we deleted any pictures or videos.
That is crazy that they demanded that. Like, how can they even do that?
What? It was so dumb.
Like, can they legally do that?
I mean, I got guys around me that are in their 60s and 70s, and they're sharing the pictures and videos and stuff that they're getting from, friends and race car drivers that they know from back home and stuff. And then all of a sudden the guy's like, make sure everybody deletes and any photos or videos that you might have on your phone of this incident. And these old guys, they're like, hey, Mel, can you send me that video? I mean, they're just talking about it. Like, it's just like, they're like, who the hell is this announcer telling us what to do?
Can they legally do that, though?
Well, no. They're just trying to act like, who knows? I mean, my God, I can imagine if you're the promoter of the event, you're freaking out. I mean, you're like, dear God, this young man,
this guy just
underage, first of all.
Right, underage. That's a scary scenario when it comes to legal matters around this.
Right. Well, and look at all the stuff that happens in, with that whole thing in Stewart. And, my God, they the only way they got out of that was the kid was over 18.
Right.
But,
well, and that's probably the last time I could think of something that was similar to this. Was that actually?
Yeah, exactly. And the only way they got out of that is they said the kid had weed in his system.
Well, and that's crazy to begin with.
Well, that's the only argument they could say because, obviously back then it was demonized, so.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up for that to be the excuse. I'll say that much.
Yeah, there's a book written about all that. I don't know if you knew that.
What does the book say?
It goes into detail kind of about the whole situation. There's also a documentary on YouTube about it, and it's just kind of basically where, who had the most money was going to win.
Who did the documentary?
I don't know who did the documentary, but it's on YouTube. It's about 2 hours long, and they interview the family, and basically it was, Old Smoke had enough money, and he pretty much paid off the local police.
No.
It's fascinating, man.
Does it talk about the background of, because Friesen came after Stewart when that happened, right? A little bit. Like, he was on the news saying everybody else missed him and he couldn't, I think that was a clip I saw on a news station. Bo Tabb seems to be an upstate New York guy and modified guy. He may be able to tell me if that's true or not. But Friesen obviously ended up being with Jessica Zimpkin, and they're married now. It's Jessica Friesen. And obviously an ex-girlfriend of Tony Stewart was Jessica Zimpkin.
Correct.
And I heard that Jessica Zimpkin was one of Kevin Ward Jr.'s, best friends. So it wasn't just some random guy on the racetrack. We know how it all is with girlfriends and guy friends, with girls that are friends and guys that are friends. If you break up, if I'm a friend with the girl, probably under the radar, you probably want to be more than a friend. But if some guy screws her over or they break up, I don't like the guy anymore. So.
Well, and then, Tony was, knew Kevin Ward Jr. And actually was talking to him about him going on tour with the All-Stars.
Really?
Yeah, that night. Oh, it's covered in the documentary in the book. And then when the incident happened, Tony got in the hauler and they skedaddled. And then when the cops interviewed him later, he said, I'd never met the kid. I had never talked to him in my life.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So there was a lot of falsification on the part of Tony to distance himself from any type of, as far as any type of relationship, we'll call it, with the young man, so that it didn't look like there could have been any possible you know, whatever it may
Animosity.
be. Yeah, whatever it may be, from girls to just being pissy on the track. You know, he just acted like, oh, I'm just a NASCAR guy. I get hired for the night to draw tickets, and I never met the kid in my life, and I didn't see him.
Well, but obviously everybody else in the situation would have known that that's not true, and their testimony should outweigh what he's saying.
Right, but from what I've understood in the documentary and the book is he gave the local police department or something involving the city a ton of money. So it's like basically, you know, he's like, hey, I see you guys need, you know, about, you know, $3 million worth of equipment, or you need your community center rebuilt, huh? I might know someone, you know, so it's one of those deals.
I don't know if it could get that deep. I don't know. But you're
Well,
saying a documentary said this.
The book and the documentary go into a lot of details about how there was probably some money that was donated to incentivize the police to let the case go away.
So what is the name of the book or the documentary, or you just don't remember?
If the book's on Amazon, and I think if you just, I don't know what it's called, but I think if you just type in like Kevin Ward Jr. book or something like that, it might pop up.
Yeah, it might pop up. I can't believe you don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember. I mean, they call it, you know, whatever. Dirt Life, you know, they got all these dumb names for stuff, but like, I can't
wow.
remember.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not joking at all. The book is called Smoke Screen. Wow.
Yes,
Talk
that's it.
about a headline. Oh, my God.
How do you not know about this?
Wow.
How do you not know about this? And you've been in the race world.
I have been. Paperback, December 29th, 2016.
Danny Varon wrote it. Or Varon. Well, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
Is that the
either
sprint
back.
car driver? Varon? The one who almost
He's
beat
probably
the
dead.
Outlaws? It
He's
says
probably
written
dead.
by Danny Varon, a racer who is in the perfect position to view the tragic incident unfold that claimed the life of rising sprint car driver Kevin Ward Jr. on August 9, 2014. In this book, Danny breaks down step by step the last hours of Kevin's life. Danny saw... Hold on, we got to read more of this. Hold on. Danny saw everything as the controversial incident between NASCAR star Tony Stewart and Kevin Ward Jr. unfolded. Read this first time exhilarating account from the person who was mere feet away from the accident. This book even covers the police involvement and the grand jury investigation, along with the media responses and other personal testimonies. This is a must-read for all race fans, along with anyone wanting to know the inside story of the accident at Canandaigua Speedway on August 9th, 2014. And see, when I was racing up at Canandaigua, that's where I ran the big block style modified, the 602 or whatever it was. And I was making jokes about this on my lives when I was racing. You know, if you fuck up, I'm gonna.
Oh my God!
If you mess up, you won't. Hey, we already saw how people get handled on this track. I'll handle your ass the same way. I was making little jokes, in 2020.
Oh.
That's what I was saying to people.
Wow.
And the track promoter pulled me off to the side one night because I was making other jokes like, oh, he, kind of along the lines of, Tony did it, blah, blah, blah. Track covered it up, Illuminati. And he was like, look, man, you got to just quiet down on all this. We got the GoPro video. We saw it all. He literally jumped on the car. I don't know why he did, but he did. And it was like a thing. Like, I needed to be quiet about it. And it's weird, like, if people are getting paid off, like you say, that would be a reason to just stay quiet about it. We're all told to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's people on the YouTube now where they've took that footage and they've made it into, 1080p so that you can pixelate it even more. Or I should say not pixelate it, but make it more clear. And then one guy actually put a grid on it so you can see the depth of the track, and you can actually see if Tony moved up or not, or if Kevin Ward jumped down or not. I mean, dude, there's some of these guys on YouTube are like detectives. I mean, but if you go on YouTube and you type in the Kevin Ward Jr. documentary, the family and such, yeah, there. Look at that. I mean, there's a guy, yeah.
Is this it?
He's got like grids. Oh.
Illuminati shutting us down.
You got to be over 18. Obviously, some of the drivers tonight couldn't even view this.
I wonder if this is it, though.
Well, no, but the documentary is about an hour and a half long. This is just dissecting the footage about where, you know, and then he gets the grid out. Yeah, see the grid? And then he actually gets it to where you can see if he actually moved down or not. And then there's another footage where you can actually see where when Tony does the little slide move on him, the young man jumps up onto the wing as a defense maneuver.
Okay, so that's the blue line's the safe spot to pass. I guess. What are they trying to show here?
Watch here. See, he jumped on the car and grabbed the wing. So I don't know if that was in a defensive move because Tony slid on him, or if he was trying to jump up on the car and, I don't know, beat his ass or what.
But regardless if he jumped on the car or not, you're saying this documentary goes into, like, the ways that Tony Stewart got away from incidental manslaughter.
Yeah, so if you go to YouTube and type in Kevin Ward Jr. documentary, I guarantee it'll pop up. It's about 90 minutes to 2 hours long. They interview the family, and the way that Tony got off, beyond just, you know, sliding some money into the city or the police department, was they said, well, there was a trace of marijuana in Kevin Ward's system. Therefore,
go ahead.
He must have been whacked out of his mind, you know, and was out of his mind and blah, blah, blah. Ah, that heckler, that's from the Chili Bowl.
I just put in this documentary and put over 20 minutes, and this is the only videos. For some reason, there's some disgusting looks of when you search Kevin Ward Jr.
You typed in Kevin Ward Jr.
We could zoom in on what I type. For some reason, it's definitely not showing anything like that. Kevin Ward Jr. documentary. I know how to spell. But it's showing some other crazy shit on here, actually, besides that. So, interesting. Very gruesome stuff, actually. Wow. So, I don't know. Maybe they got it taken down.
Yeah, I bet.
But they can't unpublish a book.
Ago.
See, this is what you get.
I watched it a few years ago.
These are the videos I get when I just search for videos normally. But these are all 2 minutes, 4 minutes, you know, long. When you go to click over 20 minutes, which would be, you said it was a long video. Those are the only videos that pop up.
It went to a federal court.
Dang.
Can you imagine? I mean, this was a big deal. And if it wasn't for the fact that he had a trace of marijuana in his system, and then they used the argument that because of marijuana, you know, they acted like back then that if you had marijuana in your system, it was like you were on meth and bath salts and everything else, right?
Oh, but that wasn't too long ago. That was only 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, at that time, though, that was the argument, and they were able to say, well, the kid was whacked out of his mind then.
Right. That's crazy. Smoke screens. Wow.
Yep, Smoke Screen. That's the book.
Somebody asks, is Tony Stewart in the Illuminati? Well, of course.
I mean, whether he is or isn't, he's got enough money to get out of things.
You got to understand, in Illuminati, there's teams. Okay, so in our world, the regular world, you have countries. You know, USA, Russia. You have all these teams in our world. Think about it like that. You know, you got all these football teams, and they all got their mascot or their flag. That's what you really got. Now, when you get to the Illuminati level, you have teams as well. You know, they're usually mascots, lizards, fucking owls, spiders, all this crap. You know, they got teams, and even though Tony Stewart may be Illuminati, he's just on a team. You know, it's not everybody's team. You know, just like Dale Jr.'s on another team than Tony Stewart. Dale Jr.'s on the team with Jay-Z and Danica Patrick. That's why they did that music video together, you know, whereas Tony Stewart's in with Kid Rock. That's why Kid Rock narrated the little documentary that they did for Mainstream. So that's just a part of the teams, you know. There are Illuminati, but there's teams.
Here, let me text you something that a guy's working on. I don't think it's out yet, but it's going to be, it looks like it's dated March 11th, 2022. So not even a year ago. There's another guy now creating a documentary on it.
Oh, wow. I wish you had Facebook to message me so I could bring it up on the screen.
Well,
Documentary is called The Hit. So we're getting...
I can Instagram.
Somebody said documentary called The Hit.
Yeah, here, let me send it to your Instagram. There you go. So it looks like the guy's working on it yet.
Okay. Oh, we might have one here. Oh, look, it's right here.
Well,
no,
it's not out.
This we found it. It's not on YouTube. I don't know if you did it or if this is the same video, but there is an official documentary out. It's actually on Amazon Prime Video, and it's called The Hit.
There it is.
Is this it or no?
There it is.
Is this it?
That's the new one.
Wait,
that's different than the original one that was on the YouTube. About 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
It is upgraded, I guess, to a.
Look at that! All the
wow.
Computer generated lines of the track.
Wow, I may be up for a couple more hours.
We gotta have a watch party.
Oh my God, I will never see the end of it. My relationship with Donnie Shots will be over instantly.
Oh my. Well, do you know that Fargo is the most missing persons in all of the United States?
On the count of three, I want you to tell me who you think's going to win
Oh,
this
people
race.
just
Ready?
end up-
1,
Can
2,
you hear
3.
this?
To see Tony pull up that night, that was a big deal.
Canandaigua, are you ready?
Tony is a guy who, if he doesn't like how you shoved him around on the racetrack, when he gets out of the car, he's going to get this straight right now.
Oh, and we've got word into the wall.
The beauty of solving this project is that we get to change our perspective.
And our son is gone. We're never going to see our son again. Tony has not been held accountable for that at all.
Kevin Ward never stepped beyond the path of those 6 vehicles.
We just wanted answers to what happened.
You agree that's a terrible idea, right?
I've been around sprint car racing a long time. It's part of the sport.
Oh, wow. Man, I'm going to have to message The Hit and be like, hey, you want to make some money? I'll promote your video. You still...
Damn.
Oh, did you watch it on the YouTube?
Well, I didn't. I can hear. I can't hear it because otherwise it'll
Well,
echo
so you
on
couldn't
the-
hear what just played? Or did you?
No, but that's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's got a 2
I got
rating.
Prime.
Let's see what these haters say. Hold on. Oh, they don't have any actual written out hate. But it's not necessarily hate. Look, what I see here is just what I see when I'm mad at Kyle Larson. I see a Kyle Larson fan and I see a Chaz fan. This video might as well say Kyle Larson, the most overrated driver from dirt, and I do an investigation on how he got all this money as a kid, and everybody gave him money, and he ain't really the greatest. He didn't come from nothing. He had Parker stores on his damn outlaw cart. That's my investigative documentary on Kyle Larson. I come down here, one guy who's a Chaz fan and loves the truth votes 4 stars, and one guy who's a Kyle Larson fan and hates the fucking truth votes 1. That's what I see there on that rating.
Amen.
That's what I see. That's what I see.
Hey, who do you know those producers?
How do you have starring Tony Stewart on your damn video?
That's my favorite.
Dude.
Starring the murderer.
Well, hey, my Illuminati, you want to know my Illuminati conspiracy? So, how I was explaining the teams. Obviously, me and Kyle Larson's on a team with David Gravel, Jeff Gordon. I'm on the Jeff Gordon team. You know, we got the team over here. That's the Illuminati clique. But, the joke, or the not the joke, but the funny thing in all this is, in my theory, can't say it's true because then they'll take me out, but in my theory, Tony Stewart and Kevin Ward Jr. could have made a deal that night. They could have made a deal to, do you want to be famous? Do you want to be a celebrity? Or do you want to be a god and go down in world history? And the way you go down as being world history and being a god is you die. In a famous scenario situation, you know, and once you get so famous, you can't be no more famous. You know, you can only be Kobe Bryant or Prince or any of these celebrities for so long, or Michael Jackson's. But to be a god means you don't interact with people. You are above people, and you watch the people worship you. And the way you do that is you fake you're dead, or you die. And you go to an island somewhere where all the richest people in the world have turned the island into the most luxurious place in the world, and you just live there, you know. I mean, Epstein Island, I bet you, was a really nice place as far as like golf courses and malls and movie theaters. You know, these billionaires, they can go build a damn island that's nicer than the best city in the world. Look at Dubai. Think they can't go buy some island out in the middle of nowhere and build a paradise? Especially if you own all the money in the world. Like the real people, the ones who own the world, own all the money, all the everything. So that would be my Illuminati conspiracy theory, is Kevin Ward Jr. is alive. What do you think about that? He's lived as a god. He's went down in world history over this incident. And Tony Stewart and him are on the same team.
Well, do you think that he actually is a race car driver to this day under a different identity?
No, he's on an island. It's a deal you pull, and you know, they got several locations outside of the flat Earth. I mean, you know, we could go outside the dome, all this stuff. You know, everybody's chilling out there. Prince, Michael Jackson, you know, everybody's having fun. They just watch the world.
See, and that's why the Chili Bowl, the Expo Center, is kind of like the world we live in. You know, a lot of people just live in the grandstands, and then they don't realize that there's a pit with where the magic happens behind the grandstands, right?
Right.
But some of us have the pit pass, and others don't.
Right. And then next level is, you know, where no one knows. Think about it. That's the pit pass. Kevin Ward Jr. is in the pits.
Right.
I mean, when they say, when people joke and make a realistic comment that, you know, NFL and all these things and entertainment and all of our celebrities Yeah. I thought I lost audio for a second. I'm sorry. Are you still there?
I think I lost you.
What about now? What about now? I think I lost him, but I'm not sure if I lost everyone here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get him back on the line.
Hey, let's bring up a picture of Kevin Ward Jr. and see which driver he is today.
Well, sorry, I was getting to the truth, and
sorry.
Illuminati stopped me.
This is
Huh?
This is getting scary because I actually believe that Tony Stewart's going to come over across the street and kill me.
I mean, more than likely he's a hitman anyway. So
he looks mafia.
Oh, definitely. The mafia are the people who do the stuff. It's the wizards and stuff you gotta really be worried about, though.
So what's Kevin Ward Jr. doing today? I think he might actually be a driver under a different...
No, he's on an island with Tupac.
I don't know, man.
He's on an island with Tupac. Who would he be? You think he got facial reconstructive? Although they got it way advanced science. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean,
he was young. He was young then, so I mean, he could be anybody now. No one's gonna know.
That's true. That's true. Well, it is 3
o'clock. Do you think Leah Pruitt is a transsexual?
Oh my God! Why would you say that?
Well, because all the elite Illuminati's wives are actually men.
This is true. There's a lot of women celebrities that we celebrate that were born as men.
Is Brent Cruz the son of Tony Stewart?
That's going a little too far.
He looks like him.
I don't know if you and Bo Tabs are the same person, but it sure sounds like it.
Who's he talking about raging?
Bo Tabs.
Oh, he just said that.
He literally said that as you said that.
No, he did
Yes,
not.
he did. He literally that. It was before. It was right before. I didn't read what he had said, but that popped up while you were talking, and you finished your sentence, and that is exactly what he typed as you were in mid-sentence saying it.
Bring up a picture of Brent Cruz, because honestly, he looks like him.
That's scary but true. How many of the loins have been spread out there? You know, these superstars, they got to have a bunch of kids out there.
Well, that Matt Kenseth, I mean, he had a one-night stand, and that's where Ross Kenseth came from, and his daddy never helped him get to the next level. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no way that there isn't a few... I mean, because think about it. If a girl is slutting around, she don't know who's the daddy, right?
I'm not just saying a girl's slutting around. When you're a superstar like Tony Stewart or a rock star or any of these... We lost again. Are you there? Damn it. Lost him again. Lost audio. We're losing audio. I think it's because we've been going too damn long.
We're saying too much.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. We might as well shut her down.
But I'm just saying, if you got a second, throw up the Brent Marks pic just so we can confirm or deny this.
Why are you doing such cruel things in the world? Let me see here. Brent Cruz. I can't believe you want to make such a deal out of Brent Cruz. Are you there? Or did I lose my mic?
Yeah,
again?
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. Here's your picture. I Well, maybe. I mean, is it? I mean, damn it! Why'd you have to do this?
Now bring up a picture of a young Tony Stewart.
Oh no, I can't do a side by side.
Is he? Where's he from? That kid.
He's from North Carolina area. Where that old side? Oh.
Aren't they all?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Who was Tone dating? Oh my God.
Oh.
Who was Tony dating 16 years ago? Or 14 years ago?
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
No.
That ain't Tony Stewart.
That is Tony Stewart.
But that one picture that you had,
that's Tony Stewart, and that's Brent Cruz.
like when you had, not the braces one, but the picture before it that you had on the screen for a moment.
Yeah, I gotta somehow get him in the same spot.
That looked just like him. So how old is that kid?
16, I think, is his actual age.
Right there, that one there, that pin by on Tony Stewart, number 14. That looks just like him.
Oh my God, what are we doing here? What have you dragged me into, Spike? What are we doing?
Yeah, see the Home Depot to the right of that, where he's wearing the coat?
Yeah, I see it.
Same face, same hair. Well, hell, even the Home Depot one looks like him.
Jeez.
Oh, that one above it where he's smiling with the schnoz.
Yeah.
It's just the face above that to the right of the Home Depot one where he's got the, oh my God.
What are you doing here, Spike?
Right there, that one.
Oh my God! Well, it's hard to unsee it, Spike.
And how old is that kid now? He's like what, 16 or so?
Yes, 16 once again.
He sold. We had 2 shirts sold. Now he sold 4. But so basically,
What
who was
are we
Tony
doing here?
Who was Tony inseminating 16, 17 years ago?
A bunch of chicks, probably. He's probably banging a new girl every night. How could you not? In that scenario, we never got mad at Tiger Woods. That's what I'm trying to say. How many fruits of the loins are out there? You know, and I ain't saying the girls are hoes. I mean, you're hooking up with the superstar.
Right. Well, I'm going to look up.
He wants to blast off inside of you. You know, you're going to say, yeah. You don't want to be the bad person and exploit them, you know. Oh, my God. Yeah, we'll keep it quiet. Okay. You know. Maybe I lost Spike again. Did we lose you again, Spike? Or did I lose him again? All right, we need to just call it. Why are you going off all the time? What's going on here?
I'm not doing nothing, but they're on to us. But I was he dating Pruitt during that era? Or, I mean, not Pruitt, Friesen? Mrs. Friesen?
I'm not sure. More than likely.
Well, when was that? Well, no, that would have been, no, that wouldn't be enough time. Well, 2023 minus 17, that's 2006-ish.
Somebody asked for an update in the comments. It said that the family posted that he is alert and talking. This was 3 hours ago. Alert and talking, moving hands and feet. He is passing all the administrator tests thus far and is about to go in for a CAT scan. Moving hands and feet's a good thing. The extremities, if you got control of those, you're more than likely not going to be paralyzed.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah, it all comes back then.
Right. So he's not paralyzed. He's lucky, though. If he would have got slung out in the air, Jake Swanson don't come through. That would have might have been a little worse. He kind of got laid onto the ground at that point.
Was this an Illuminati attempt at a blood sacrifice? Brent Cruz is going to cash in because it's Tony Stewart's son.
It is going to make headline news.
And I will say this. Being there live and then in the pit after the event, all these people online that are saying, don't post the pictures and don't do any videos and blah, 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 blah. Trust me. Nobody in the pits acted like anything ever happened. It was business as usual, happy-go-lucky. Everyone's getting drunk, and it wasn't as if everyone's in a state of mourning or something. Like everyone at home is acting like we just cry for the rest of our life or something. I mean,
well, but media has taught them to be that way,
right? So I'm just saying, all these people are talking all big and bad about how it's terrible that anyone posts a picture of it on the book face or whatever.
Right.
Trust me, nobody there even gave a shit. I mean, they all went out and raced. The only person that cared was Cruz because he could get rid of some T-shirts.
Right. It almost feels like me with getting kicked out of over the Kyle Busch deal. Everybody in the building was standing up and it was like, yay, while everybody online's like, what a douche. Everybody in the building's like, well, somebody fucking told him, and everybody outside, it's like, wow, what an asshole going after a 6-year-old.
Right. But see, it works well for the media, though, to act like this event is, any controversy that can come towards the Chili Bowl is good because they're hoping that makes people want to buy tickets. Because there are some people that want to come to racing for carnage, Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
but
oh my God.
It's a fine line.
Well, I do think that there's an aspect to the sport that isn't getting respected for how dangerous it actually fucking is. It definitely makes racing look extremely dangerous. And people like to see people do dangerous acts. Racing was in... there's a reason they did a lot of stunt acts at racing events because it was the same kind of crowd. Racing was somewhat of a stunt in itself. A death-defying thing. And some people see these kids just go out there and people flip cars around and get out all the time. And so it seems like they've just lost that element of how dangerous it actually is.
Well, I think that 99 out of 100 times the safety equipment is going to do you well.
We just found that one out of 100. Yeah.
I mean, look at Jason Pursley. I mean, my God, he got rocked, a year or two ago, and it's like that's an example where it's real deal.
Right. Yeah.
And and that's where, and that once again, it's kind of funny because everybody, right? Everyone's like, the NFL should cancel the game, and then some of the guys were like, well, obviously this is a very important game. I mean, the game's got to go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how dare you say that? Well, look at tonight. I mean, people are actually like, well, they should cancel the event. They should cancel tonight.
Right.
I mean, it's just bizarre to me how the mindset now is just cancel everything and let's just crawl in a hole.
Right. It's true.
What it is anything that happens that they're not used to, right? A kid getting a heart attack in NFL. That's not happened before.
Right.
a kid getting flung out of a midget at Chili Bowl. That's never happened before.
Right.
You know, that's anytime there's something new, the right away it's, well, delete, act like it never happened.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you got to cross those bridges.
Right, and the only thing that's going to ever hurt or kill you will be cancer, so go to the doctor and find out. Take a pill.
Or Tony Stewart on a dirt track.
Oh, my God. Why you got to go there? What? Every time. You're going to be banned from the building if they ever find out who you are.
Fuck, if I get banned from Eldora, I'll cry. That's my favorite track.
I'm telling you, you're flirting with it. You're flirting with it. Seriously.
I'll change my identity.
Well, that's possible. But anyway, it's 3:12 in the morning. Somebody said it's 4:11 and they're ready for another live. We're done doing lives. It's 3 in the morning. You fucks.
Oh, Bo Tabs is a fan of me now suddenly.
Oh, God. Oh.
He was my biggest hater.
Yeah,
and then he listened to me talk. Now he's a disciple.
I'm yawning. All right, we're going to bed.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't know what we're going to do with this video. Will we leave it up? More than likely. Will we regret that? More than likely. All righty. Catch you next time. Chaz wants his man meat. No. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully subscribe. Send some support if you want. PayPal and Venmo links in the description. Or join the channel. The button is above.